Welcome back to another Apprentice review. This week will be week 7. Last week the teams had to design a roller coaster, and Aisha, the one who did nothing in 6 weeks, was the one who was fired. This week the teams had to travel to Finland and advertise the country of Finland, and they also mixed the teams up. So Lewis and Karina went over to Unison, and Thomas and Marianne went over to Team Empower, and I can remember the names now. Team Empower and Team Unison. On Team Empower, the project manager was Marianne, and on Team Unison, as was discussed last week, the project manager was Dean. Now, Team Empower was Marianne and Thomas designing the brand. Thomas was so adamant that to go for that LGBT, which Marianne even failed to discuss, LGBTQ plus whatever, LGBT what, I don't know. While Jemelin, the sub-team leader, went with Ryan, Mark and Pamela to Finland. And on the flight, the cabin crew, the ones who was taking the sub-teams over to the filming thing, decided that because of Ryan, Mark and Pamela's allergies, they had to ban nuts. Excuse me. So yeah, they had to ban nuts. Thomas so overroded Marianne with the LGBT events, and it wasn't based on that theme. Like, the theme had to actually associate with it. And then there was Thomas, who's not a puff, the unpuffed guy with another man for the photo shoot, and there was Ryan Mark for the film directing, sitting at the end of the jacuzzi with the man sitting in the jacuzzi, and he was sitting on the side, and they all had champagne. And yeah, and then for Dean's team Unison, they actually focused on the concept. They actually did the theme of pillows or whatever. No, not pillows. Something like, I don't know what they did, or suitcases. Which actually, I don't know. I can't really remember. But they focused on the concept of Finland. And Lewis, who was the sub team leader, had Lottie and Scarlett involved. He was like, I managed to do everything. I directed, I sub team leaded, and I was in the advert. He was like with the bikini babes and all that sort of stuff. And for the sub-team, Jemelin, who was the director, kept overriding Ryan Mark, basically with everything. Just kept consistently, hugging them. Ryan was like, show some respect. No, Jemelin was like, show some respect. And I was like, and then Ryan was like, you don't know what respect means. Yeah, it was so pretty much just so funny. And I don't know why Ryan Mark, and yet again, well, no, that was different because of last week. There was a heads and tails between Dean and Lottie, but Ryan Mark could have put himself forward. I mean, Marianne done it for the second time. Scarlett's done it for the second time. Karina's done it for the second time. It's just Ryan Mark and Lottie who haven't. And yeah, for the next day they even got the opportunity, Thomas and Marianne and Karina and Dean, to actually look at the billboard, and with Marianne and Thomas, they were just given the fact that it wasn't it was not concept, it did not match Finland. With Thomas would have probably adamantly have pushed that it was. That's all I was going to think he was going to do, and thank God he didn't. But he was so obsessed with it. You see, this is my feeling now. I don't think Thomas will get to the semi-final. I really don't. Or the final five. He literally didn't. He has not pulled his weight, like, you know. And I think he was a bit of a bully, really, just giving. He didn't mean to be. He meant well, but like, you know, he just basically gives design. Everything always has to be his way, his way, his way, his way. You know, and he was so adamant about the LGBT events, and Marianne couldn't control him. You know, I mean, I had loads of predictions as to who would go through the final five, and Thomas, by the looks of things, won't. He just won't go to the final five. I mean, you know, and then they had to do the pitches. I mean, Dean, Karina and Lewis were doing the pitches to the retailers, and while Scarlett and Lottie were looking for a distance. Or was it Lottie that was doing the pitches with them? I don't know. I mean, I think there was arguments though between Karina and Lottie. Like, they were like, I want to do the pitch, I want to do the pitch. It's like, oh my god, I mean, or Lottie would go like, oh, you made the wrong mistake, Dean. Like, yeah, like. And, what else? They actually focused on it, whereas for Marianne, Thomas, Ryan, Mark, they literally, with Pamela and Jemelin trying to watch, and actually Jemelin was the one who was actually who wanted to do the pitch and didn't get allowed it. But yeah, I mean, I don't really like Jemelin. I mean, Jemelin was the 7th candidate to be fired. First of all, it's Shaheen, Kenna, Solomon, Lubna, Ryan, Aisha, and now Jemelin. And everyone's saying it's a white privilege show. It pisses me off. Like, why would people think it's a white privilege show? Like, last year, 2018, and this is the point I was really adamant to make. Last year, 2018, basically they had for the first week a girl got fired, then they didn't fire another girl until week 8, so from week 2 to week 7 boys were fired, and everyone was all branding about how it was a sexist show. I bet those who think this Apprentice show is white privileged, they're the ones who thought last year the show was all sexist. It's not racist, it's not sexist. And why would people think that? I mean, last year Sean won The Apprentice. Why the hell is it a racist show? I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, but yeah, this is just something that really is adamantly got me annoyed. But yeah, Marianne, through the speaking, got the LGBT Q plus wrong. She was just stumbling through it, and yet she wouldn't let Jemelin as well do the pitch. So for the boardroom, Team Unison, which is Dean's team, won because they followed the brief. So for the losing team, and this is like week 5, when Jemelin admitted that, when Jemelin brought Ryan, Mark and Ryan back into the boardroom, and Pamela, Karina and Lewis went back to the house, and Ryan, Mark, Jemelin, Ryan and Lewis were the 4 people that bought something. Karina and Pamela bought nothing, and actually in Pamela's own admission herself, she admits that would probably have been more fair that Jemelin was fired instead of Ryan, because she basically brought the wrong candidates back in. So she should have been fired apparently she should have been fired, I actually agree with that, for bringing back Ryan, Mark and Ryan, which actually, and Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, because I mean, on the other hand, because I mean, no one in week 5 deserved to go because there were two people that didn't buy anything, but because those two people weren't brought back into the boardroom, the project manager needs to go. On this basis, Thomas worked hard, Marianne worked hard, Jemelin worked hard, Ryan Mark worked hard, Pamela did nothing. So in a way, and Marianne brought Jemelin and Ryan Mark back into the boardroom. And I don't really, personally, yeah, I agree that, and even she agreed on that task that wasn't fair that Jemelin got fired and that Marianne should have gone for bringing the two people back and not her. Yeah, and I mean, it's great that, I think that's quite nice of Pamela to actually, be so genuine about that. She really was being genuine. She felt like it wasn't fair that the one who bought something got fired, and that because she was the one who did nothing, throughout both the two tasks, she should have gone. But the fact that she wasn't brought back into the boardroom, the project manager needed to go because of basically just, for not bringing her back into the boardroom, bringing back people who worked hard. Ryan Mark was blamed for being the windcock again. But yeah, Marianne was blamed, but unfortunately Jemelin went. And I don't really like Jemelin and Lubna. I agree with Lottie, because not only is Alan Sugar being accused of having a white privileged TV show or a female privileged TV show, yeah, which I hate people brand it to be racist or sexist. And actually, not only that, Lubna was accusing Lottie of racism. I'm glad Lubna gone, and I'm glad Jemelin's gone. I mean, in a way, it wasn't particularly fair that she went because she did anything. But I just really hate, I just don't like them. They're just, and all the camps are tormenting Lottie and saying, I don't want to go near Lottie anymore. I like Lottie. I don't think, everything is being branded. I just think, she might have not meant it intentionally, but I just so want to, I mean, there's some phrases that I want to use about them which are quite horrific and threats that, there are threats that I can say for Lubna and Jemelin directly, about them, but how should I rephrase it? There are threats for them that I can't personally say out loud. But yeah, Jemelin's gone. Next week, the candidates have to give a steam train tour, and Ryan, Mark, and Lottie, who hadn't been project managers before, will be the project managers. So I'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.